Hello, I'm gonna try to do something here that I'm not really sure if it's gonna work, but we'll see. Um, hi, I'm the guy from Junkbox Aquatics. If you watched my videos, which is kind of a new group of people, have a handful of subscribers, so thank you for subscribing. Um, so I'm gonna try this. I just thought because there's like a new thing on the iPhone where you can pause the video and then go back to it. So anyways, so I'm gonna go ahead and just thought I'd say hi. I'm gonna see if I can flip the camera back around once I hit pause, if it gives me that option. I don't know if it will. And then we're going to take a look at some of my fish tanks. I did just feed my fish quinoa, so I was talking about that a little bit on my last video. I'm sorry about the background noise. I have noticed that you guys can hear all the air pumps. I guess I could turn the air pumps off, but let's see. If I turn the air pump off, is it going to turn the lights off? I think it'll turn some of my lights off. Oh, you know what? It's not on the... it's... Okay, so the air pump is actually plugged right into the wall. I thought it was hooked up to this, it's like one of my power strips there. I thought it was hooked up to that one. So, anyways, so I think what I'll do is I'll hook it up to a power strip so I can actually flip a little switch, because I ramble a lot, right? Okay, so I'm going to pause it here, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at a couple of these tanks. All right, so that is not a feature that they have added yet. That, I guess, will have to come sometime, hopefully in the future, if they're talking about that. I don't know. But anyways, flipping the camera around, I actually have to edit the video to do that. So what's going on in this tank? I have some sailfin mollies. This is the female right there. And there's another female, it looks like. I actually took the male out of this tank and I put him down below. I'll show you guys that tank in a second. Now, I did not do any cleaning on the tanks. I did do a little bit of picking up in here the other day. This is kind of a spontaneous thing I'm doing. But I haven't done any videos of the fish room in a very, very long time, like an actual kind of tour. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do like a little tour. So, anyway, let me just explain what's going on in this tank. So this is one of my project tanks. I have, as you can see, the male swordtail, male green swordtail. It's just a baby. It's not very old. They get a little bit bigger than that, and you can actually see some baby fish in here. Some little babies. I don't know. I'll have to look a little closer to see if that's a molly or if that's a platy. But you see lots of platies. All these colorful fish in here. Those are all platies, except for the cherry barbs. I got some cherry barbs because they supposedly eat duckweed. So I don't know, but try to not ramble as much. Try to stay focused. So what is going on is swordtails and platies will interbreed, and then you'll get some interesting looking swordtails. Or you'll get a really cool looking platy with a little thorn of a swordtail, very small swordtail, and then breed that fish again with another swordtail, like a female swordtail, for instance, to get a longer sword. So we're gonna have to see how all that goes, if I actually want to continue this project or not, because I do have a couple of platies that have grown up a bit, that have a little bit of a sword. So we'll just see. But this is one of my project tanks. That's pretty much it for that. Sailfin mollies and these different platies. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the video so I'm not jumping all over the place. I'm verbally jumping all over the place because that's just my personality. I'm gonna pause it right now, and let's go take a look at my mixed molly tank. All right, so now we're in front of the mixed mollies. Now, this is I need to throw in some more colorful mollies in here so I can get some more colorful colorful mollies, but right now all of my colorful mollies are in with my sailfin molly, because I'm trying to get a whole bunch of sailfin mollies to sell to the local store. So I got some black mollies. I really like these guys. I don't know if you guys can make it out very well. Hey, what's up, buddy? So that kind of looks like a Dalmatian, kind of. Zipping around super fast. There's another one there. So I think those are really pretty. They're kind of a silver, almost platinum maybe. I don't know. Maybe that is kind of a platinum and some black speckles. I don't know. You guys decide what you think it is. And then there's my Montezuma swordtail. I think that's a pretty young one. I think their sword gets a lot longer. That's supposed to be a Montezuma swordtail. You see all these babies down there. Now, the thing about this tank is, when I go to get the babies out of this tank, I do have to remove all of the stuff in here. I just take these rocks and the sticks out and I just put them on the floor. And then I basically just suction them up or try to net them out, which I need to do probably tomorrow because there's a lot. Look at all these babies. And then I have 2 plecos in here that are also kind of keeping this tank, I would say clean, but the tank is looking like there's some algae buildup. What else to tell you about this tank? I think the pH is around 8. It's like 8.1 or something. I got these giant pieces of coral. This is, you know, how people will put crushed coral in their tank. I had access to some coral, some live rock, some dead live rock. And the saltwater world, that's what they call this stuff that you can put in your tank to keep the pH balanced. I'm gonna skip the tank below me because it is a killifish tank, but well, I'll show you guys. I have to look around in there for the killifish. But this is my this is my Aphyosemion gold. I gotta look around for him in there because I looked around a little bit yesterday and I couldn't find him. These guys are notorious jumpers. And the water is still a little high. I think I want to drop the water down to about this level. I'm hoping the guy's still in there. I mean, they're very sneaky, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's hiding in there somewhere. I mean, I do have this lid on. See the lid. All right, I think I'm gonna move on to the next tank to show you guys. But yeah, look at all these babies. There's a lot of babies. You see the lyre tail molly. So I'm really hoping that there's some cool looking mollies. Some of the baby. I mean, these are all great, super healthy, super active. They just might not be quote unquote the popular ones that people would run to the store to buy. Because I do have a lot of wild type. I mean, I don't want to say unfortunately, but I don't know what to do with some of these wild type, like this guy here. I don't know if that's a Pacific molly or like when I got, like someone gave me some mollies. These guys are so funny. They're just like, hey, what's going on? They're not afraid of me at all. They're so used to me feeding them, so. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next tank. We're gonna go ahead and pause it and maybe we'll look at the sailfin mollies tank. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's go look at the sailfin molly tank. Okay, 1 second. And this is my sailfin molly tank. Just joking. Okay, let me tell you guys what this is. And this water is kind of low. So this is green water. That's all this is. This is just green water. It's disgusting looking, but let me tell you right now, this is really, really, really good for live food cultures. So if you're doing Daphnia or Infusoria, any type of microfoods, I need to add more water to these. Kind of got a little neglectful. There's no heaters or anything in these. It's just the air bubbling. The room is kind of warm. I keep the room around 80 degrees, so it's just dehydrated out. But literally all I'm doing is Just water from my aquariums. A couple of squirts of this stuff. This is just all-in-one fertilizer. Just a couple pumps, a couple times, you know, I don't know, once a week or something. But yeah, I mean, if you want really super cheap food for your Daphnia and Fostoria, probably even Scuds. So yeah, this is, you don't even have to do anything. You just have an air bubbler at the very bottom, keeping the water moving around. All right, this isn't super exciting. Not everyone's going to be doing something like this. But then again, of course, not everybody's breeding fish like this either. So people who are watching this video might be actually doing that kind of stuff. But, I mean, you can see, here's my hand. So these things are pretty tall. I got these at Walmart in the vase section where you get your glass containers for flowers. I think they were like, I think I got one on sale, like 50% off. Normally, I think they're about $18, but they are glass, so you got to be careful. Okay, pausing it again. Now we're going to go look at those sailfin mollies. All right. There is one single male sailfin molly in this tank. One single male. And the water is starting to clear up. For a long time, it was actually pretty green. The only thing that was in this tank before was Venezuelan Corridoras. This tank is almost on the ground, so it's kind of hard to do this video. But you know, I've got guppy grass in here. See a big old pile of it way back there. I also have some hornwort. But look at these guys, man. They're still going for that quinoa. Look at that. Way back there. They're just picking at it. Just going nuts. And that big old sailfin molly there. That green sailfin molly. So all of these fish, see, look at that little baby right there. That's kind of cool, huh? So all of these fish in here are female domestic. They're like the gold, the half black, half gold, or yellow, whatever you want to call them. And then the one. So all of the colorful ones are female. So all the colorful ones are female. And then there's one male sailfin molly. One male wild type sailfin molly. So I don't know how many of the babies will be sailfin, but yeah, it's pretty good. This is a 40 breeder. It's a 40-gallon breeder tank. And you can see there's lots of babies that I need to catch out of this tank. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to slide the tank, I'm just going to slide the phone over to this other tank that's right next to this. And this is one of my clown keelies. So one of the clown keelie tanks. So I don't know if there's any babies in here yet. Oh, he's like, hey, who's that? I don't know if these guys are real used to me. It's hard to hold the phone still. I'm trying, guys. See, anyways, so this is a 5-gallon tank. It's a little 5-gallon tank with these clown keelies in it. And it's my Aphyosemium, my females over here trying to say hi. We'll go ahead and take a look at them. This is a 10-gallon tank over here. It's my Aphyosemium. Like I said, I didn't really do much work on the tanks, guys. Just cleaning up the floor a little bit. And like, I'm actually on my hands and knees right now because these tanks are almost on the floor. Okay, so here we go. Little female there. Well, I mean, for a killifish, she's actually pretty big. This is a Matin filter tank. It's a little 10-gallon. There might be babies in this tank. I don't know. I haven't looked lately. I do need to keep an eye out because I should be getting babies now because I've had these guys for a little while. So that's the female and the male's way back here. It's going to be hard to really get a good shot of him. Sorry, I'm I'm trying to hold the camera still, but I'm not doing a very good job of it. There's too much algae on this glass though. I need to get I'm not really sure if I should probably just manually clean this glass myself. I was gonna say I need to throw a pleco in there, but actually I don't know if a pleco would eat the eggs. All right, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. We'll move on to another tank. Here we go. Sorry about this glass being all messy. I'll have to plan this out another time to get better shots of these tanks, but yeah, so anyways, trying to create a nice place for the baby fish to hide. A couple things on the bottom of this tank here. Sarwassertang, I think that's Sarwassertang there. And then you got some like the micro chain swords. And then of course up there, floating stuff. I think that's a micro chain sword that's actually floating. I need to plant that again. But yeah, all right, let's go ahead and pause and move on. Okay, this is one of my grow outs. So this is babies from those swordtail molly. I just totally screwed up. Okay, so the swordtail platies. So there is some mollies in here, but all of the colorful ones like this, that's a swordtail. That's a female swordtail, guaranteed. Just the pattern, you can tell. There's a really cool, neat looking swordtail. But yeah, I mean, you know, this is a grow out tank, so it's going to be mixed with a couple of different things. They're all domestic. There should not be any pure strains, but there might be because I sometimes get a little sloppy. Like I'm pretty sure that's a pure strain green swordtail. Pretty sure that is. That was a mistake. I don't know. I need to isolate some tanks for growing out my pure strains so they don't get mixed in with these guys. But yeah, so this is just a grow out tank. Look at all these babies. There's so many babies I have growing out in this thing. This is a 20 long. They're used to me feeding them, so they're just right in front saying hi. And they're eating quinoa too. Okay, sliding over. So this is one of the sailfin mollies. This is just wild type. A bunch of female wild types, and then one single black domestic sailfin molly. So these are wild type. I don't know if that's a Pacific molly or what type of molly that is. Somebody gave me some wild type mollies, and they told me they were I'm trying to remember the type. It was I can't remember, but it was supposed to be a type of wild type sailfin molly, and it was not. And it looks more like a Pacific molly, but it's pretty big, pretty healthy. It's just they're just plain silver looking mollies, which if you're trying to get rid of fish like I do, I'm not just breeding these for ethical standards, keeping them in the hobby or anything. I'm also breeding them to sell to the stores, and they're just not going to be the most exciting fish for people to get. Okay, I'm going to pause the video and we're going to slide all the way over to the right. But yeah, I mean, there is some babies in here. I picked a whole bunch of them out the other day, so these are all born within the last couple of days. You can see some down there. So, all right, I'm going to pause it. All right, so I know you guys are going to be like, oh my God, what's going on with this tank? This tank is a mess right now. There's a lot of green water in it. Things have been stirred up in this tank because I've done a lot of like moving things around in the tank, stirring stuff up. And I mean, it is a dirted tank. It's pretty deep dirted tank. It's very healthy though. I mean, honestly, green water is just algae. It's just basically algae. It's fine. It's very good for baby fish. Believe it or not, algae is really good for baby fish because what lives in algae? Lots of microorganisms for baby fish to eat, and also baby fish can also eat algae. So yeah, we got, I can't remember what type of corridors those are. I got them at the club, and I don't remember what they were called, but they're cool. They're pretty cool looking little guys. So this is a grow out tank also, but I have not completely figured out what specifically I'm going to focus on this tank for growing out in. Maybe it's just going to be the mixed mollies. It would make more sense because I have so many different type of mixed mollies and also mixed swordtails. So maybe that's what I'll do. That makes a lot of sense. And then this 20-gallon tank, I could focus on growing out the pure strains. But I mean, I'm just showing you this tank because it is one of my 40 breeders that, you know, there's you know, like there's all kinds of little things down here in the bottom, little baby shrimp, little baby fish that were probably born in this tank because you can't even see in the very back. It's, you know, I could turn the lights off. I could just turn the lights off for 2 or 3 days and the green water would be gone. But another thing I could also do is just throw some more duckweed, or not duckweed, I don't like duckweed, but throw some more guppy grass, hornwort, you know, things that will eventually, I say eventually, outcompete the algae. So eventually your plants will outcompete the algae. It just takes a little while. Because algae can use light a lot longer than plants. There's a thing about that. You just have to you have to look it up. I can't remember exactly what it is, but there's something about, you know, how algae can use light to absorb energy a lot longer than plants. But plants are more efficient at doing it. So like, yeah, I'm not a biologist. I just read a lot about this kind of stuff and listen to a lot of podcasts about it. So I don't know. Watercolors Aquarium, there's a lot of stuff on there. If you want to check out a really good podcast about that kind of stuff, they talk about the science about that a lot, and they're great. Okay, pausing it to go on to my planted tank. All right, here we go. All right, here is my planted tank. Now this tank does have some fish in here that I need to get out. I've got red-tailed Gadeids, speaking of which, there's one there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get these guys out, to be honest with you guys, because there's so many in here, and they are having babies in here too. I mean, man, I don't even know. Okay, so what I have in this tank that I want to keep as fish, the fish that I want to keep in the tank are the green swordtails. I want the green swordtails to breed in this tank. That's the pure strain green swordtails. So there's a, I don't know if that's a female yet. I don't know. I think it is. Look at this. Look at this male. That male is stunning. Such a beautiful male. So, so the green swordtails, which are the more silverfish with that shimmer. Of course, these red-tailed Gadeids also have a shimmer, and they're also really pretty, but they don't have, you know, you could tell the difference between, because when I say silverfish, they're both silver, but you can tell the difference. One's more round, the swordtail is more slender and long. So anyways, yeah, so the green swordtails, and then all of those mixed guppies. So, like, check out this guppy there. Look at that. That is a really cool looking Endler guppy. That might be a pure strain Endler. I don't really know. I can't guarantee it because I have guppies in here. See the guppy? There's also there's a beta. Somebody gave me a beta at the club. So there should be a beta in here somewhere. Where is it? I don't see it right now. It's probably just, oh yeah, I think that's it way back there. I think that's it. Way back there. Okay, anyways. So this is my plants. These are my plants that I grow out and then I sell to the stores or I sell to local people. Oh, there's that beta. There's the beta. Okay. So yeah. So we have Fishtoberfest coming up. So I all of this bundle of plants here. There's a whole bunch of little pots of plants. So this beta probably helps keeps the babies down. I'm sure it eats a lot of the baby fish. Who knows, it might be going for a baby right now. See all the little babies way up there. I don't know if you guys can see those or not. So yeah, I don't know what else to tell you guys about this tank. I do have an I've got auto feeders on all my tanks, but I also have an auto doser. Then I also have CO2. CO2 just going crazy, but you see that filter way back there that kind of keeps the water flow a little bit. So yeah, I mean, you guys can see the fish are kicking back, having a good old time, so obviously they're fine. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and pause it and go on to another video, or not video, go on to another tank. So let's go ahead and take a look at, what's behind me. We'll go ahead and move on to those. Okay. So this is my Liberty Mollies. So I got a bunch of Liberty Mollies in this tank, and then I also have just pounds of guppy grass. So I put these lights because, let me show you the very top of this tank. The top of this tank I have my black lung culture that I just started up a couple weeks ago. Just moving some stuff around here so I can show you guys. This is my black lung culture. These are little fry racks, little breeder boxes. So this thing's full of black worms. I don't know if you guys can see them or not. But this is blocking the light. You know, you guys can see the light coming down. So these are blocking the light. I've got 4 of these. So I've got the 2 here, and then I got 2 down the other side. So I put some lights in the very back of the tank, and sure enough, it works, but all my guppy grass was growing up against the glass, and I had no idea how much guppy grass was in there. I just noticed that it got harder and harder to see on the tank as it was getting dark. It's getting a little darker, but so it's like, oh my gosh. Looking at this now, it's like, man, there is a lot of guppy grass. So 75-gallon tank with all this guppy grass, that's a lot. But, you know, it's great for the baby fish. I do have some longfin fancy plecos in here. Then I've got that sailfin platy. So I've got the swordtails. I've got red swordtails. So just red, just the red, plain old, blah blah blah. You can see some right there. Swordtails. There's one. There's a male that just went back. And then the mollies, the Liberty Mollies. It's a pure wild strain. I got those from Alex up in Seattle. But yeah, so you see these guys down there. So what I'm planning on is like these guys will breed with the platies, and then I'll get some different type of swordtails. And you know, I'll just take them out. I'll take them out as they go, and if I get some really cool looking ones, then I'll breed those together and keep that strain going. Otherwise, as of right now, I just got my hands on some red swordtails really super cheap from a local breeder, and I just went ahead and got them because at the time, this is when I started my swordtail project, and I just didn't want to take a chance and not getting any swordtails, and I figured I could do something with them. And then I know that this is not a good thing to do, but this little mutated Endler. This is the reason why I don't do Endlers anymore, guys. Is because I was getting these really horribly crossbred, inbred strains of these Endlers, and they did not die, and they were actually competing with the other ones really well for food. So I was like, you know what? I'm not doing anything with this tank as far as guppies and Endlers, so I just threw them in here thinking that they would get eaten by one of the other fish, and no, they didn't. So I just figured I'm going to let him live out his life in this tank. So he's just down here hanging out. And I do have some other Endler guppies, but they're not from the same strain. They're from other strains. So if there is any babies, I think that mutation, that inbred mutation, would brood out because I've got so many other healthier strains in here, and I'm hoping that I'm hoping that it will just breed out. I don't know if it works that way or not, but I'm not selling any of these guys at all right now. I'm just, you know, we'll see. We'll see how they go for about a year or two. What else to tell you guys about this tank? I don't know. I mean, I can't even really see in it. There's so much guppy grass in this tank. Man, just look at this. Look at this right here. My lord. Let's see if I can look at that. That's the other thing too. This tank is actually, they don't have to deal with me all that much because I don't really put my hands in it that much compared to the other ones. But you see, I put the lights in the very back, so I can sell the heck out of this guppy grass though. I'm sure I could sell pretty good to some of the clubs and Fishtoberfest. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. I'll pause the video and we'll move up to the next tanks. Here we go. All right, now this one here is my. This is the make it or break it tank. I have a really nice looking platy male in this tank with a really cool little thorn for a tail. So he's one of the ones that I bred with the swordtails. And then I have some female swordtails in here. So that's the whole thing, is like what's gonna happen with this tank is these guys are gonna have babies and they're gonna be, so originally the way it was pure domestic platy to swordtails. Then I took the baby, which is the platy in here, the platy looking fish. So that's half platy, half swordtail, and now I'm breeding it with swordtail again. So it's gonna be like 25% platy, 75% swordtail. I mean, you really can't see the sword because the sword is just a little clear thorn on the bottom. You guys see that little baby pleco? It's kind of cool. And of course the Java moss that I glued to this piece of filter media. But yeah, there is 2 female swordtails in here. I'm gonna throw another female in here and we'll just see what happens. We're just gonna see what the babies of this looks like. Now, the other problem is, where am I gonna raise the babies? I'm not sure, because I need to make sure that these babies look a certain way. So I can't just throw them in the tank behind me because it's gonna be hard to keep track of what's what. But, you know, I don't know. We'll figure that out when it happens. I don't have any babies yet, so we'll just figure that out in a bit. Maybe I'll take these guys, maybe I'll take the adults out and leave the babies in here and just move the adults to another tank. Okay, now let's take a look at this tank. I'm excited about this one next to me because it is the one that has all of the baby sailfin mollies. So the baby sailfin mollies from the tank below that you guys saw a few minutes ago with the sailfin mollies and all those domestics. Okay, here we go to that. All right, now, here's something. Now, what I can do with these guys is I could take some of these, some of the females of these, and I could throw in my 75 gallon, the one with all of the ones that don't have like a whole lot of color in that, like the mix out the 75 gallon. Because I was talking about how I need more colors in there for people, you know, when I take them to the store. So the store's customers will be like, oh yeah, look at all these really awesome molly fish. Because right now it's just mostly a lot more wild type, which are like, you know, just silver. So if you're going into a fish store and you just want some fish for your kids or something, you're not buying the plain looking wild type. I love wild type, don't get me wrong, but you know. All right, so what we got going on here, as you can see, these are all of my babies from that sailfin tank. I guess we gotta wait a little bit longer. I don't know how to tell, you know, except for just when they get big enough that their sailfin is just really impressive. But, you know, Like this one here, that one there, that fin is kind of, looks like it's a little, obviously a little shorter. I think the sail fin is more attached at the bottom and a lot longer all the way to the back. So we'll just have to keep an eye out and see what they look like. I picked up a whole bunch of assassin snails because I would like to breed assassin snails also. So there's a bunch of assassin snails in here as well. So, and of course this tank is packed full of guppy grass. Guppy grass is a big deal. Okay, I'm gonna slide the phone back because that platy is over here. So maybe you guys can see that little thorn of a swordtail there. A little bit of a. It's not much. It's really not much. You'd have to look for it to see it. But okay. Right, that's a really nice big old fat male. God, wouldn't that be cool? Like to see a big old fat male swordtail like that. And the personality and characteristics of him is way more aggressive than platies too. Just the way he acts is definitely a different attitude. So, all right, we'll go on to this. We're just gonna slide down, so I'm just gonna kind of go a little slow so it's not jumpy. Okay, so this is another project tank. I mean, this has got no real rhyme or reason, I've got to be honest. So I've got a whole bunch of females. So that's a female swordtail. This is a male. This is a male platy. This is a male sailfin platy. So male red wax sailfin platy, and then a whole bunch of female swordtails. So some of them are domestic, some of them are wild type. Like this is a nice wild type female there. And this is so that crazy looking one there is a kind of a goofy one that I got from some babies that I got from another from a swordtail that I got from Zen Aquatics up in Seattle. And so I'm trying to get more of these sailfin platies. If I can get some sailfin platies, if I can get like these sailfins to breed with the swordtails and get some sailfin swordtails, that's what I'm talking about. Some sailfin swordtails is the goal with this tank. So we're just gonna have to see what they look like. But I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna be getting some babies soon. They've been in this tank for about 2 weeks. So, all right, sliding over some more. So, this tank has got 2 wild type female swordtails. Then it's got 1 female platy. And I do have so there's one fish that grew up in here. It's not completely grown up, but it is kind of like an albino orange, which that doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like see, he's kind of over here towards the glass. You guys can kind of see it's a swordtail. It's a really pretty swordtail, but it's like, it's almost clear. You can almost see through it. So, I mean, it's pretty cool, pretty feisty. It's not unhealthy or anything. It's just, there is like a really crazy looking swordtail in here. I don't know where, I think sometimes it goes down behind the live rock way back there. But you see all the babies. There's a lot of babies in this tank. So this is another tank I need to get the babies out of. All right. So, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to this other tank. This is a 10-gallon. Well, both of these are 10 gallons. So these 2 are 10 gallon, and all of the other ones that direction are 20s. So those are all 20s. Okay, so back to this. So this tank, I do need to clean the glass. It's pretty bad. So let me tell you about some of my equipment. So this is Milwaukee. I don't actually have it on right now. Let me see if I can get it to come on. It's a Milwaukee. I have the other one plugged in over here. So it's a pH monitor. This is like a professional grade pH monitor. The probe is in the tank. So I'm gonna pause the video so I can go over here and show you guys this other one because it'll be easier to explain when that's actually plugged in and working right now. Hold on for 1 second. All right, so this is the pH monitor like I was just talking to you about. So not only it's a pH monitor, but it's also a doser. So it's a pH doser. So you can set this thing so like if the pH drops below 8, you can actually have it set up to dose your tank. So Kalklosser, saltwater people out there, I'll show you guys some Kalklosser in a moment so you can see what it is. So Kalklosser, you'd have like a bucket of Kalklosser, and you'd have your dosing tube in the Kalklosser, and there's the pump right there. I'm not using the pump. I'm just basically keeping track of what the pH is. pH is pretty stable. It's staying right around 8, like I said earlier. Okay, so where is the probe? What tank is the probe in? Okay, I'm gonna pause the tank. So you see right here, it's 8, and these are the knobs. It's actually super easy to use. Those are the knobs. So if I was using it as a doser right now, if the pH dropped below 8, it would dose the tank. It would dose the tank until it got to 8. So, okay, I'll pause it for a second. So that's the probe right there. Now, the thing about the probe is the pH probes always have to stay wet. It's got like a crystal or something like that that's in there that kind of keeps track of what the pH is, or whatever it is. As soon as the signals are up, blah, blah, blah. So the pH of this tank is 8. Venezuelan corredoras are fine in that tank. I don't know what their pH is supposed to be, but they're fine. You know what? I'll just take a look here and I'll show you guys some of the Venezuelan corredoras. I haven't looked in here in a while, but I know that they're okay. I can't think of any reason that they wouldn't be because there's no difference. Let's see, where are you guys? They like to stay together in little herds. Come on. The problem is I got all of this duckweed and this stuff over there. They might be in that. I probably don't like to be around while all these mollies are swimming. Oh, I just saw one shoot off to the back. Okay. Man. Okay. Well, anyways. So they're in the back. They're just in the back. I saw one on the bottom scurry off to, oh yeah, there's one right there. You see that? I promise you there's a bunch. There's about 8 of them there. Well, actually, I don't think there's 8. There's 8 at my office. There's 8 at my office. I think there's like 5 in here. Okay, I'll pause the video. We'll go back over here and look at this other tank, and I think that's going to be the last tank. Okay, so it's kind of an awkward way to look at the tank from here, but what's going on is this is from the side. So like this is the 10-gallon tank, but I'm just kind of rolling around to the side here. So what these are mostly the fish that I catch from my office, from the so these are like mostly baby Gadeids. I mean, really tiny baby Gadeids. So that's obviously a platy. I want to do something with that platy. I think that platy would make a really awesome swordtail. But then all of these baby Gadeids, did that little baby Gadeid just take a nip at that platy? Oh my gosh. And then there's also some baby mollies in here too. I think that's what I've I think that's what I have done in the past, was took some of the baby green sailfin mollies and threw in here. And I don't know where those little orange fish came from. I have no idea. No clue how they got in here. But I think there's two. Yeah, there's that one there. And there's one way back there. So I don't know. Yeah, right there. But yeah, so see the good day. Yeah, so that's some green sailfin mollies. All right. Well, that's it. That's it. The only other video, or the only other tank I have not shown you guys, is this one right here. This is my, I don't know, 10-gallon. I made this tank myself a couple years back, but this tank is going to be for peppermint shrimp, so saltwater peppermint shrimp. This tank is all set up. It's ready to go. I just have not made it to the store to buy the peppermint shrimp. So my buddy, Woody Seahorse Aquariums, super guy, super awesome, really cool guy. Yeah, so when I was doing saltwater, I would go into the store all the time. But after moving so many times and setting up these saltwater tanks over and over and over again, I've decided to hold off until I buy a house. We're going to buy a house one of these days, hopefully sooner than later, probably in about a year or two, getting our credit up and saving the money, because buying a house is a nightmare. But anyways, so that's the goal. Once I buy a house, then I will actually have more saltwater breeding projects, but right now, peppermint shrimp seems like it is a doable. So all of this live rock, this tank has been going for about 3 months. So this thing is ready to go. There's nothing in this tank except for the live rock and some microorganisms. I have thrown in little pieces of food every couple of weeks, so it's not, you can see that there's not a whole lot of algae. I have scraped a little bit, but not too much. But yeah, I mean, there is microfood in here. I just don't know how much. But anyways, this is the only tank that is not, there's nothing going on except for the live rock and whatever was alive on the rock when I put it in this tank that lived through that temperature change, because it went from being outside in the wintertime to, because I mean that's how old this tank is. I set this tank up a long time ago, so it was actually last winter, and then it being pretty cold. So yeah, this is pretty much it. That's it for now, guys. We'll do another big tour when I get these tanks looking a little cleaner, because this tank is actually really cool if you could see inside of it. But yeah, man, there's a lot of guppy grass. It just goes on and on and on all the way back. All right, you guys have a great day. If you've actually watched this whole video, thank you. 46 minutes of me rambling and looking at very dirty tanks. But if you have a full-time job like I do, and you also do this as a hobby, it's hard to keep up with all this stuff, guys. It really is. I mean, the thing is like I have healthy fish. I have healthy fish, and I have lots of babies. And these guys eat like kings and queens. They eat very good. It's just the tanks do not look like a display tank, but they're not. They're not display tanks. They're machines. These are machines to create more babies and grow out the babies. So it's not always going to look good if you're doing this kind of stuff, So anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for finishing all the way through if you actually did. And be kind to each other. Check on your friends. Say hi. Smile at someone you don't know. And yeah, like we're all in this stuff together. If you're in the United States, just remember that we're all human. And if you're anywhere in the world, really, it's just, we've got some stuff going on here. But yeah, just take care of each other, say hi, all that stuff. Thanks for watching, guys.